Hey everybody, this is Sean Pitcher, your local dietitian in Atlanta, giving you some more sports nutrition facts and information to help you perform as a high level athlete. So, as we continue on our pre-competition fueling or pre-activity fueling, today's topic we're going to talk about is gut adaptation. So, how does eating work? How does the food travel from our mouth to our stomach? So, as you can see on the right side here, this is a really quick, easy graphic example that gives you an inside look of where's my food going after I chew it in my mouth. So you can see once you chew the food, it's going to go down your esophagus and then it's going to go into your stomach. You have specific acids and enzymes in the stomach that are going to be released that are going to help with you to digest the food, whether it's lipase for fats or different enzymes that break down proteins or carbohydrates. These enzymes are going to help. So once they get into the small intestines, the intestines has them in a form that allows them to start absorbing them. So you have these little finger-like projections in your small intestines, which are called villi. Those are what help to absorb the nutrients from the gut into your bloodstream to allow them to go wherever they need to go. So whether that's the brain, whether that's your organs, that's your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, whatever specifically it is, that's where the absorption part is going to start. So we're chewing it down to break down the food. We're going to have the stomach, which is going to help have enzymes and acids to help break it down even further. And then throughout the small intestines, the large intestines, that's where those nutrients and fluids are going to absorb so they can go out throughout the bloodstream to get it utilized in the body and however it specifically needs. Now, when we talk about eating before training, some athletes are not used to eating before training. So they may have issues with feeling sick, nauseous, slow, heavy, or have a negative association with that. Now, that doesn't mean that the athlete is a person that can't eat before training, especially if this happens all the time. It may be a situation where we got to find out what kind of foods they can handle. And you have to put yourself in a position and eating specific foods or eating over a long period of time where your gut can actually handle it, right? To give you an example, I've had times where athletes have come in. I don't typically eat before I train because this event happened. I felt sick. I threw up, yada, yada, yada. So I don't want to eat, or I'm not going to eat, or I felt like this before, so I don't want that to happen. Now, if you're an athlete and you're 20 years old and you don't typically eat before competition, or you don't typically, let's say, for example, if you have training in the morning, you don't ever have breakfast before you have training time. And then all of a sudden someone comes in and says, hey, I want you to eat something. And then you eat something and then you don't feel good. Well, of course, if you're that athlete, you're like, I'm probably going to stray away from that. I don't think that's going to be good for me because it's not making me feel good. And I don't want to not feel good out during training time. So that's where you have to break it down for them and tell them, hey, let's start with something really quick and easy and small. And we're going to go over this in a chart that I have in another slide going forward. But let's say, hey, can you eat a chewy bar or can you eat a banana like an hour before you go and train? Maybe it's half a bar. Maybe you graduate to a full bar or a full banana. And after you're doing the training, can you tell me, did you feel any different? Did you have more energy? Were you able to perform well? Did you feel fast? Did you feel powerful? Did you feel strong during that specific practice or training session? And if they can answer yes, that's where then you capitalize on that specific moment and say, well, hey, these last couple of days you actually ate something before training, and you're telling me that you feel a lot better from doing that. So, if they could say, well, yeah, I actually did. Well, I guess it is a good idea for me to continue to keep doing this. And if you're working from not ever doing it 0 days a week and you get them to do it 2 or 3 days a week, and then you get them to start seeing the benefit of how that's impacting their performance, very quickly, it's going to slowly start rolling. You're going to put them in a position where they're going to want to now start hopefully having something more often than not. But again, if the gut or the body is never used to eating or having certain foods leading up to a training time, and you just do it abruptly without slowly easing the athlete into it, then yeah, they're probably going to have, some possible GI upset or issues. So that's why, again, you have to work with the athlete as an individual to figure out their background and figure out what they've done before, and then try to find those key food items that they're comfortable and okay with trying. And then hopefully that's causing them a positive benefit in their performance. That's allowing you a way in, which is then allowing the athlete to benefit or prosper from that. And again, if you help an athlete out and you get some quick wins in a couple days or a week, I guarantee you over time, they're going to continue to keep coming back for questions because you did something that helped them that's making them better. And if they're getting better over time, then they're going to want to know more information from you as your specific profession. And what more can I do? What more? Here's more questions I have. I don't feel good during this time. Do you have answers to this? And then you're starting to gain the trust and relationship with the athlete, which is then going to help you hopefully help them over a longer period of time. And then they start changing some of those habits and behaviors that they've been doing for years or even longer than that. So again, moral of the story to kind of tie this up, choose foods that the athlete's familiar with, choose foods that the athlete's comfortable with trying, see if the athlete's willing to try them. If you can start getting them to eat certain foods and it's starting to have a positive benefit, then capitalize on that. And the gut's going to take time. It may take days, weeks, months, years. It may take time for them to be able to handle certain foods leading up to training time, but that doesn't mean that it can't have certain foods or you won't be able to eat food leading up to training time. It might be just something the gut has to adapt to or the person mentally has to adapt to going up. Again, if you guys want nutrition services, if you guys want to listen to my podcast, watch more videos, watch and learn how to cook through some of the recipes that I have posted up, you can look at my link tree below. It has all those links, or you can just hit up my YouTube. We have all those different channels there. We will also be having another section of the channel where my fiance, who is a strength and conditioning coach, she will be posting videos, whether it's how to squat, how do we put together a strength and conditioning program for rugby players, right? Having that cohesive approach as practitioners, right? Physically, you're going to break the body down. I'm going to obviously build the body back up through nutrition. The two are going to go together, and it's going to be very hard to maximize yourself as an athlete if you don't have all those different practitioners around you. So that's something we're also going to have on the YouTube channel to help educate the masses on both of those sides. And we may do a video that coincides in how both of them help each other. How do I help the strength coach when it comes to fueling the athlete? And how is me fueling the athlete then corresponding with helping the player, the coach, the team, or the support staff, in this case, a strength coach? Y'all have a good one.